Hey everyone, it's Joanna here from Inspired by Stamping. Today I'm going to share with you how I watercolor. And in a second video, I'm going to share, we put the vote out on which one you guys wanted me to see, which one you wanted me to do. So this one was pretty much unanimously. So we're going to cover this one in our second video. But first, let's show you how I watercolor and my materials that I use to create these images. So first, what I do is you're going to need some brushes. So I have purchased a lot of brushes over the last few years, and I would have to say that the higher the quality is, the better that it's going to be. Now you can buy different kind of brushes, but I truly suggest that you go for the nicest brushes that you can find. Now you can get them on email, or on the internet, you can get them on Amazon, you can get them mail ordered, even at your shops, at an artist shop. I personally get mine sent from the UK. This is where I get my brushes. I really love her. She's got really beautiful quality brushes. She actually hand makes them, and this is really just a beautiful way of where I buy them. So I purchased them online. And you can find this too. She has a great little catalog too, and this is where I get most of my brushes. I first started out with these Cotman. If you can see that, I see right here. They're Winsor & Newton, and I love the Winsor & Newton brand. The only thing that I don't particularly like about these is that it's synthetic hairs. So you really have to continuously dipping into your water and your paints because it doesn't hold a whole lot of liquid. Now I did go out and I did purchase these. These are the artist ones from Winsor & Newton. I bought these on eBay actually, and they're quite surprising. You can find a lot of things on eBay too. And this is sable hair, and so this is a real hair, and I really love this. I love how it holds the paint a little bit longer, and you can color for a bit longer, and I just find that the brush strokes are really beautiful. The reason why I suggest that you go for the most expensive, not really the most expensive, but the nicest brushes that are around is because when you're starting out, it gives you the confidence and the experience, and I think it builds your confidence because your brush strokes are so important when you're creating anything. And so these are the ones that I typically use. These ones run me about $20 a brush, so I purchase one once a month as my budget allows, and I save up and I just buy one. And so far I have two, and I'll just keep saving and saving and saving. Now next, we're going to go into the paints. Now I purchased this paint tray, and you can get these online at any artist shop in any way. And I buy my paints, and I buy the Winsor & Newton once again, and I buy the artist ones. Now the reason why I buy the artist ones is that the colors are more vibrant. You don't have to layer and layer and layer, and the images just really truly stand out, and I really think that the experience, again, $12 for a little tiny tube like this, but buy one a week. You know, whatever your budget it costs for, you can find some really good deals on eBay. You can find great deals, you know, if you're shopping at a craft store with your coupons, you can always just, you know, buy one a week until you've got your whole or assortment. And I'll list all the colors that I have inside my watercolor pan. So here it is. I usually do is these are half pans, and so they're removable. You can take this out, and then you can rearrange them, take them out, switch the colors depending on what you're doing, and then you can just stick it back in. And so, oops, put that back in. And so what I end up doing is I end up refilling it, and I just put some of that in every single time it starts to get a little bit low on the pan. And if I'm working on something else, a different project, and I need a different color, I just pop that out and switch the colors, and away we go. So next I suggest that you get yourself a white crisp dinner plate, and so this is one of my dinner plates. It was broken and chipped on the side, so I thought I'm going to use this. The reason why you want to use that is some of the colors, especially the reds and some of the purples, they have a really absorbent texture to them, so they really absorb into anything that is not has a beautiful film over it, this glossy ceramic cover. And so what ends up happening is that your tones, when you're using and coloring, they can change, so you won't really see in the true color. If you have a background that is kind of black and then you're putting a beautiful light pink on it, that brown or that black will come through and you won't be able to see it. Or when you use a ceramic plate like this that's flat, you can just wash this off and the color doesn't absorb and you can start all over again. So these are the colors that I'm using for one of my watercolor projects right now. And I really suggest that you use this. Okay, now let's move on to paper. Now there's two types of paper that I use. I use this Canson watercolor paper for my cards and my projects. I love this paper. It's beautiful. It's 300 GSM. I believe it's cold press, which I do love too. It's got a rougher texture to it, which makes it kind of different to paint with, I'd have to say. It's not very smooth, and I really love the extra smooth types of paper because it just makes the coloring and the layering so much more beautiful. What I end up doing is I cut these in pieces and then I stamp on them with antique linen, and then I just start to watercolor, and I usually fill it up pretty quickly. So I like this because it is cheaper and it is for my cards, which I usually give away to people, and you never know where that will go. It might go in the trash after they receive their birthday card or not. So I just feel like this is a good brand for those things that you don't really mind what happens to it. And this is the paper that I use. You know, I'm in Australia still, so this is where what I can get from where I'm here is this paper. I really love this paper. I know it's made in England, and it is actually hot pressed and it's extra smooth. It's still that nice, beautiful 300 GSM paper, and I use it for my big projects. And these are the projects that I'm going to paint and I'm going to hopefully frame one day. And I really love, so this is the paper that I'm using for this project right now. And this is the project that I'm using for this project too that I'm currently working on. And these I hope to frame. And yeah, okay, we'll move on to my sketchbooks that we have. I just purchased this sketchbook and it's beautiful. It's Stillman and Byrne. Let me see, I can show you. You can get this in America too. You can get this anywhere in the world. Basically, they're pretty good at having it everywhere. I got it online here in Australia, and if you're interested in knowing where I got that, please send me an email and I will email you with the link and where I get them. This is Rough Surface, and I was very disappointed with it with watercoloring, so I do not suggest this, but I will suggest it for this is my little art journal that I've been working on. I will suggest it for doing it with distress markers and with your pencils. I find that it was really beautiful and absorbed the color just perfectly. So I'm giving you some inside tips here right now with what you might see next year. This is another one by Stillman and Byrne. Now the difference between the two of these is not only is it rough, but this one is smooth. This is really suitable for watercoloring, and this one's more suitable for sketching, illustrating, drawing, using Sharpie markers that doesn't go through. This is a ring binder on it, where this one is a book. And I will say that this is quite lovely. And it's very beautiful. Let me get that out of the way. It's doing the different. Very beautiful for your pencils. I absolutely love it. And your distress markers. And I just started coloring with that yesterday. And I put down my first layer for my watercolor too. So I'm really excited to find out how that's going to work. And I can see that this is going to be my favorite all-time beautiful watercolor sketchbook just for watercoloring. And there's one more that I haven't tried, but I've heard some beautiful things about, and this is the moleskin, and I just picked this up, so I will give that a try also and let you know about that one. Okay, one last thing. I went to the cheap shop and found these old napkins, and I have decided to turn it into what I dip off with. Now I was going through a lot of paper towel and I still use it a little bit, but I keep throwing it away and I felt like that was wasteful. So I went and got these. They cost me 20 cents. And you could just dab off your excess water and away you go. And you can just keep reusing it, throw it in the washer machine when you're done and keep working at it. So I hope you'll join me in my second video today where we're going to watercolor this beautiful poppy from our poppy stamp set. Well, I hope to see you then. Thanks for stopping by, guys. See ya.